All right, we got a naked shift lever here. So I pulled the knob. These BMW knobs, you just pull really hard straight up. Make sure your face isn't above that because you will smack yourself right in the face. Pulled off the shift boot. There's just a few little clips, as you can see. So now you can see that there's this foam insulation here that you want to be careful not to tear. That's just tucked underneath the lip of the center console trim. So that comes out. Then you've got this plastic shift boot. So we're going to be replacing it since it was a fairly inexpensive part. I've got a brand new one that won't have any tears or leaks or anything like that. So, but first, well, actually, I think that is the next step. You got to just kind of pry it out. I'm going to use two hands, but basically you got to take this rubber boot out, because we're going to be replacing with this, and then we'll be able to have access to the lock mechanism that looks like this, that's holding the shifter in place. So I'll do that right now. Here's the old one. You can see it's actually in decent shape. It was actually kind of inside out, which is interesting. So I'll be replacing that obviously with this new one. The nice part is on this new one, it actually has a handle where you can pull, because I had to like really dig in there to get this out. As you can see how big that lip is. You know, it's like a ½ an inch or even more that goes underneath the actual metal. So it was just like tug of war getting that up. So that new one will be nice to put in. So now you can see that white retaining ring, and all you've got to do there is get a screwdriver. Be very careful, but you want to rotate it 90 degrees or so, if I can, and that should, don't want to do too much damage to it, even though I'm going to be replacing it. So you can see. And now I know that they have these special rings, these tools that have like teeth that go in so you can turn it very easily. I mean, I could probably just get another screwdriver and do it. But as you can see, it might actually be a little hard to see, but it's all gunked up in there. There's no real lubricant, which is part of the reason why it has that certain sloppy feel to it. But so when we replace it, we're going to actually be replacing the grease and all that too on the new one. So that should be unlocked. You saw it turn. So basically, that's locked in. And then when we go back the other way, that should be unlocked. All right, so the new one is installed. I was under the car, pulling out the pin that holds in that connector. So here's the old one. If you can look at the old one and kind of see, that pin, that connector goes inside there, and there's a little retaining pin that holds the outside. As you can see, I got a new plastic securing ring there to hold this new one in. And it's hard to tell here. I should have done it when I had them out, but you can kind of see, obviously the ball of that one is a lot lower. But so on this one, you can see the shift point, like the fulcrum of the stock shift lever is down here. And on that one, it's raised up quite a bit. So the throw is going to be shorter. And not only that, but the actual shift lever itself is quite a bit shorter, maybe 3/4 of an inch shorter. So the throw, I can already feel, put the clutch in here. I mean, yeah, it feels, it's notchy. There's no slop in it like there was on this one, partly due to the old plastic bit there. But I can already tell this is gonna be sweet. I got it greased up, nice and lubed up there. I'm gonna pop this boot on there. I guess we're gonna do that now, huh? And right, after slicing like all of my knuckles on this sharp plastic edge here, I finally got that boot in and the lip properly sealed around the edge, and it's great. So now we got to put that like this, like this. There we go. Put that insulation back in. Just keeps out road noise, obviously, and weather and debris and all that. I'm glad that that's in decent shape. And then put the shift boot back on after I cleaned it, just with a rag, nothing crazy, but it needed a little tidy. So you can see already the stock one sat up there, and this one, the boot, is going to actually sit quite a bit lower. Cool. And yeah, let me pop this back on. Booyah, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that feels much better. Much sportier. Good looking, very nice. Can get rid of these old pieces. And that is the 545 shift lever short shift kit install done on the 540i. All right, we are driving the 540i with the new shorter shift stick, repaired motor, and the engine is smooth. As you can hear, it's very quiet in this interior. I haven't owned a like real luxury car for quite some time, so you can see even revving it up pretty high, you can't really hear much. There's not much in terms of engine noise. Obviously, like more modern luxury cars are going to sound even cleaner and better in the interior, but there's not a lot of engine noise. That's also helped by the fact that the muffler, the exhaust is pretty muffled in this car. It's definitely not like a sport exhaust or anything like that. But on the inside, it's very quiet, comfortable. The shifts with the new shift lever, very crisp and notchy. I think I need to flush and change the transmission fluid. I've read a few things about how the stock transmission fluid is a little thick, or just it isn't quite right for this sort of the new shift action, which does make sometimes it makes it a little tough to engage. But it's shorter, it's notchier, it definitely feels a lot sportier, that is for sure. And it feels good. It feels really strong. There's no slop in the gear shifts. You definitely feel where you're engaging. So it's pretty awesome. Gonna go get the car cleaned now. Do a car wash for the exterior before the full-on detail. But it just needs like a basic vacuum and car wash so I can enjoy driving it without feeling like I'm driving a dirty old hunk. But it feels really good. The car's nice, and man, I'm actually really happy with it. Alright, I got the car washed. It wiped down at least. It wasn't like a full detail or a deep clean, but it was just a basic vacuum and wiped down. You can see you can see where I covered up some of the rips in the seat. Definitely gonna go in here with like a magic eraser, and obviously like get some rags and stuff. I'll do a good shampoo down on the carpet down there and in the passenger side. The rear is okay. Again, they just sort of did a light pass. It wasn't like full clean. So when I get home, I'll do a full deep clean. Try to get the interior looking really nice. Get rid of any of the dog hair and stuff. And then exterior looks pretty good, for a drive-through car wash. Obviously, wasn't able to get rid of like all the bird poo and like some of those marks. But not bad. You can see, you know, washing it now, I can see where I definitely need to go through maybe with some touch-up paint and some polish to get rid of some of these scratches. I might have done that one. And then it still left some dirt where that car bra was, so I'll need to do a really good clean. But you know, this just comes with the territory. The car looks really nice otherwise, you know, other than some scratches and dings. The wheels actually look pretty dang good when they're all cleaned up. So not bad, not great, but not bad. All right, first full day commuting in the BMW 540i, and it's awesome. It's comfortable, it's quiet, it's smooth. The power delivery, the torque curve is just so smooth all the way through the rev range. It doesn't rev as high as I would like, because it would be awesome if it revved up to like 7 grand, but it's still very smooth all the way up to the red line. Got a bunch of bulbs here. I need to replace a headlight and a bunch of the stuff in the rear, like the license plate light and the reverse light, stuff like that. I also got some shampoo and some oil and some leather wipes and all that kind of stuff to start working on cleaning up the interior. Here we go. Shampoo. If we can get it to come out of the bottle. Exposing the dark underbelly of the passenger seat. Those actually cleaned up. I'm like surprised at how well this thing works. Wow, I got to pass through the vacuum to get some of just little pieces off, but that's like way better. Wow, I'm shocked. Let's go do the rest of it. All right, here is the passenger side rear seat. So you can see pretty big stain. Let's see if we can clean it up. Look at that. Nice shampoo. Little deep clean in the vacuum, and that looks great. Shampooed carpets. Wiped down seats. All the surfaces wiped off, cleaned up. No more huge stains. I'm actually pretty thrilled. The shadows are making it look funky, but it's actually super clean. There's the driver's seat. Yeah, turned out pretty dang good. The interior of this car is clean. While I was out here getting all sweaty and worked up, I decided to sand down the headlights. I did a pass of 400, then 1,000, then 1,500. I probably should have done a 2,000, but I didn't. Then I did a polish, just with some regular buffing compound. And then I did a clear coat. It might be a little cold for the clear coat, so we'll see how it actually dries up and turns out, but they look a ton better than they did before. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's like the first real headlight restoration I've done, and it was pretty easy. It took about 15 minutes, just a lot of sanding. I'm a little winded because it was a lot. And anyway, so that's good. Now I'm gonna go to bed. Gonna wrap the steering wheel. I got a universal leather wheel cover that should be the right size if I measured correctly. Got some double-sided tape. I'm gonna put some double-sided tape kind of all over, especially in the high wear areas like around here and here. And then we'll just start putting this cover on, threading it on there, and well, should be good. Right, halfway done. My fingers are killing me. I probably should have put a Band-Aid on, or like some kind of thumbtack or something, or whatever they're called. But halfway done, looks really good. It's very comfortable. It's very soft leather, which I'm surprised because this was a cheap kit off Amazon, but the fit is really tight, really good, and it's really soft. So halfway done, just gonna keep plugging along here, sewing, you know, getting my zen on. Well, an hour and a half and a bunch of raw fingers later, steering wheel is all wrapped up. Not bad. The double-sided tape I got is pretty thick, so it kind of pokes out a little bit. But I would imagine that over time, as that gets pressed in, it's just going to get flattened out more and more and more and more. So I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, I mean, it feels really good. I got better like as I went on, and then it got hard again. But it's pretty tight. There's no loose spots. It's a tiny bit loose down where I kind of started, down here. But then, like as we go up through the wheel, it's pretty dang good. So I'm happy with that. We've got the car up on a ramp. Just changed out the oil filter, and the bracket seems to be either missing or broken. So as I was swapping it out, it kind of spilled, so I had to clean up some of the oil. But new filter, new O-rings. I ended up just using some zip ties to clamp it down into the bottom little pin. And now with the oil filter open, it's been draining for the last little while. You can see it's still dribbling out. So while the car is up here on the ramp, I'm going to be changing the oil, obviously, and then I'm going to be moving back and changing the transmission fluid. Shifts are a little difficult, and everything I've read and heard is, you know, old transmission fluid with that short shifter can cause it to be difficult. So get some new transmission fluid in there and some new oil. Should be good to go. Okay, we are under the transmission. So the front of the car is this way, rear of the car that way. So right here you have your two transmission like your bolts, plugs. Here's your drain plug. Here's your fill plug. Pretty easy on a manual transmission. So what we'll do is we'll take them both off. We'll drain out the old fluid that's in there, let it completely drain out. We'll plug it back up, obviously. And then we'll use a little pump to pump transmission fluid up into this hole until it starts to come out. So it's really simple way to know how much to put in. The fluid will go up and up and up and up, and then once it starts to spill out, like that's basically your level. So we're gonna do that while it's warm, so it drains out, and then we'll put some shiny new Synchro oil in this thing. Hopefully it shifts better. We're done for today, for this episode. I was under the car this afternoon for too long in the freezing cold, getting wet and salty and all that. But finally got the pump working for the transmission fluid, and got the oil changed, the oil filter on, all that is good. Just started the car, seems to be running okay. Haven't driven it or anything. I'm just gonna back it down off of the ramps, but that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure you subscribe so I can keep bringing you more car stuff. In the next episode, I'm gonna be tackling the door back here. I'm gonna be fixing the window and the door handle, and then probably moving on to the window on the other side. And then the only thing left will be the camshaft sensor, the camshaft position sensor, which is giving me a check engine code. So that should be it. That should be everything. And then maybe I'll tackle the license plate lights, change the bulbs. Bulbs are fine. I think there's a short somewhere in the license plate light line. I don't know, maybe I'll take off the panel and dig around back there at some point, but everything else is great. Cross my fingers that it stays that way. Thanks guys, love y'all, see you next time.